Hello, you are welcome. I have a question here on elasticity of materials. Now, the question says an elastic material extends by 2 centimeters when a load of 30 gram hangs from it. Then the first question is what additional load will be required to cause a further extension of 1.4 centimeter? And then the big question says, what additional load will be required to cause a total extension of 3.8 centimeter? Now, it is very, very important that we understand what the question is saying and what it is asking. Now, I'll start by writing the formula for proportionality sign in elasticity problems like this. Proportionality situation. Please don't forget, questions under elasticity like this are usually proportionality questions because Hooke's law is obeyed. So in a case like this, we can simply say the first mass divided by the first extension, E1, is equal to the second mass divided by the second extension. So I'll call this solution to question A. So now if you look at it, I'm using mass here because the question is giving us the sizes of the bodies in gram. So I'm going to use mass as my formula. Normally, in problems like this, force is usually used. And then in that case, we can use F1 over E1 is equal to F2 over E2. But because I'm dealing with mass here and I want to also get my answer in mass, I'm going to use M1, that is M for mass. So M1 over E1 is equal to M2 over E2. Now, the first question says that the 30 gram mass causes an extension of 2 centimeters. So the question is, what additional mass or additional load added to this 20 will cause an extension of 1.4? So what we really need here is to understand that that additional load that we are looking for actually gave us only an extension of 1.4. So in that case, we can use this formula direct without confusing ourselves with anything. So the first mass is 30 divided by the extension the 30 produced, which is 2 centimeters. And that will be equal to the additional mass that we are looking for, which is M2, divided by the extension that the additional mass produced. So this is the extension that the additional mass produced. So 1.4. Now I can simply cross multiply. That means I can use this 2 to multiply M2, and so that will give me 2 M subscript 2 and is equal to 30 multiplied by 1.4. 30 multiplied by 1.4. So the next thing for me to do is to divide both sides by 2 because I'm looking for M2. So I divide both sides by 2. So when I divide both sides by 2, this 2 will cancel 2 and I'm left with M2 is equal to, by the time I multiply 30 by 1.4 divided by 2, it is going to give me 21 gram. So that means that additional load that is required to cause an extension of 1.4 from the question is equal to 21 gram as we have just obtained. So this is the answer to question A, 21 gram. Now let's move to question B and see how to solve that. Question B says, what additional load will be required to cause a total extension of 3.8 centimeter? Now, don't forget that the 30 gram mass, let's analyze this first of all before we solve it. The 30 gram mass in the question caused an extension of 2 centimeter. Now, an additional load is added to this 30 gram. and then the total extension it gives is 3.8. So that means that additional load costs an extension that is a difference between these two. So I can solve this second question now, this B part of the question. I'm simply going to call it the B part. I'll solve it on this right hand side. Now, the extension now, E2, that is the new extension that the additional load produced, is a difference between these two. And that is 3.8 minus 2. And that will give us 1.8 centimeter. So what this means is that the additional load that is added to the 30 gram caused an extension of 1.8, because we are told that the total extension that the two load gave is 3.8. But 30 gram has already caused an extension of 2 centimeter. So that means the remaining 1.8 now, which is the difference between these two, is caused by that additional load. And that is the second extension. So in the same way, we can as well apply the formula directly. So I can simply say M1 over E1 is equal to M2 over E2. Because the additional load, which is M2, has given us its own extension as well, which is 1.8 centimeter. So in that case, we can substitute values now and get our answer. So the first load, which is 30, caused an extension of 2 and is equal to the additional load, which is what we are looking for, caused an extension of 1.8. 1.8. So again, we are going to cross multiply. So 2 multiplied by 2m2 will give me 2m2. And that will be equal to 30 multiplied by 1.8. 30 multiplied by 1.8. So for me to get the value of m2 in this case, I'm still going to divide both sides by 2. So I also divide this by 2. So this 2 will cancel 2, and I'm left with m2. And that will be equal to 30 multiplied by 1.8 divided by 2 will give me 27 gram. So that means the additional load in this case that will cause a total extension of 3.8 as written in the question is equal to 27 gram. And that is the final answer. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like and share this video so that others can learn from it. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel as well for more videos like this. Thank you for watching.